Welcome to Shorty SuperCoach and welcome to the Brisbane Lions preview. Going to take a look at the lock, the risk, the breakout contender, and a player that's no chance for my side in SuperCoach 2020. Hopefully you guys all had a good new year. I know it's a fair way gone now, but I've just been, I had a few videos scheduled that came out in the new year. So this is one of my earlier ones that is fresh. So certainly fresh to the channel, but it's the 2nd of Jan as I'm actually filming this. So hope the new year treated you well. Hope you've been enjoying a few of the vids. Also a bit of a team update and things like that. So thanks again for everyone who's jumping on board. Get stuck in the lock and it's pretty simple. Lockie Neal, I mean, he was dominant last year. Averaged 121.3. That was up from 111.9. So he's already been a very well-established player. But the move to Brisbane really saw him take way more responsibility through the middle. And that saw him get some great opportunities. He certainly wasn't the bridesmaid in that Fife anymore. Really bumped up his average and was one of the best midfielders in the competition. It's pretty tough to go wrong with him, and I think he's an extremely good selection. The risk, I've got Grant Birchall. Now, look, I couldn't see too many players that really identified as a massive risk for Brisbane, but, you know, he's at 292k. He's obviously gone to Brisbane a la Luke Hodge style, you know, go up there as a bit of a leader, play some footy, but more or less finish his career there and provide some leadership to a pretty young side and developing side. But look, last year he played the 8 games. Well, he's played 8 games in 3 years, I should say. That's a little more crucial. 8 games in 3 years. And he's been a very good SuperCoach player for us for a long, long time. But I think it's a definite concern if we go with him. He had some good scores last year, 87, 87, then a 57 from 46% time on ground. But he's about 32 years age by the time next season comes around, and I do not think we should be going near him. That's my personal opinion. I've seen him in a few teams. I don't think he'll be one that draws a stack of attention, to be honest. But I was just scanning through the Brisbane Lions list and thought maybe Birchall, just with the name and how good he has been for so long, he might tempt a few. But I think there's too much risk just with his body. So that's just my opinion there. And in terms of a breakout contender, I've got a couple of guys here, and both of them definitely need more midfield time if they're going to break out. I've got Jared Berry and Cam Rayner. Now, they're both different types in a way because Berry already saw a bit of a mini breakout. You know, he averaged 84.9 last year, and he's really getting that stage, you know, 22 years of age, 57 games, and he's getting that stage where he's a big-bodied player. He can certainly fight his way in the middle among the big boys, but it's probably just about opportunity for him. I think he's the sort of player that when his time does come to be one of the main men in the middle, you know, at the stoppage more often, around a lot more centre bounces, I think he can definitely boost his average well into the 90s. And who knows, one day he's very highly touted. He could be one of the real premium mids. So at this point in time, probably just going to have to wait and see. But I suppose in terms of a player that you might actually take a punt on, it's probably Cam Rayner. And now we know how highly rated he was given where he was drafted. Hugely exciting player. He's 20 years old, 46 games, and he just averaged about 46 last year. Now, they're not great numbers, and his fitness is probably what has been questioned at times. Not questioned, but probably just, hey, Cam, you got to get a few more pre-seasons under your belt before you go anywhere near that centre bounce. He's kind of being groomed at the moment as that sort of Jordan De Goey type role, Dustin Martin, Christian Petrarca, sort of that player who is a big-bodied type, capable of running through the midfield, but they also like him one-on-one deep in the forward line. Now, I think at some point, Rayner will be a very good option. I'm not 100% sure it's going to be next year. I just think there's way too many players in front of him in terms of getting a chance to play that midfield type role, or at least get more midfield time. I think he'll get more and more as the years go by. But at this point in time, I think there's just too many gun mids at Brisbane for him to get enough of a look in. So he's someone to keep your eye on. I should also mention Starcevic, is it? Brandon, I think. Didn't know much about him until about a week ago. And then I just heard Zorko talking about him on the radio, saying he'd been a real standout. through pre-season and thought I'd do a bit of research. Then I saw a couple of articles on the AFL website, and yeah, he's a bit of the rage at the moment. You can get him at about 147, I think, 147k in your back line. He's also a big body type of midfielder. My Brisbane Lions supporter mate, Watto, doesn't think he'll quite get the opportunities, even at senior level. He thinks he's probably going to find it pretty tough to break through. And I did read he was training with the Defenders. So I think he could be a player that really boosts his average if given the opportunity. And that's all we'll be asking at 147k. But whether it's, you know, in the exact role he wants to play at this point in time, maybe not. But he could be a handy little cash cow, all going to plan. Now, who's no chance on my side? Alex Witherden. Gee, he's been an absolute tease, hasn't he, at times? He's, ironically or unusually, his averages have gone down each year. Often we see young, talented players and we feel like they start off well, show promising signs and build. Well, he went 87.1, 83.8, and last year was 72.3. Now, I know there have been stages where he's copped injuries, but more or less, last year was just not the year he was after. Ironically, Brisbane had a fantastic season, but he didn't necessarily get on the roller coaster, at least with the scoring. Now, he had some good games, but more often than not, I was pumping him up last year. This time last year, I was all about him. But it was probably Daniel Rich that was the man that took that mantle in terms of the scoring. I thought Witherden would be the guy that just was coming out of the back line, being the ball user, handball receives, hitting targets by foot. But it tended to be more Daniel Rich. But so look, Witherden, it's just not going to happen. He's awkwardly priced at 72.3 average. You know, you're not getting too much value there. I think his numbers will improve, but he's probably teased us and maybe burnt a few as well. So I think he's probably one that we've got to steer clear. And I mean, early last year he was going all right. I think he had 490s out of his first 5 matches, but didn't find any great ceiling or any great heights in his scoring. And then the consistency fell away also. And I think, not that I saw stacks of Lions matches, it seemed as if his role changed slightly throughout the year as well. But some of you guys might know better than me out there. So there's a bit of wrap for the Brisbane Lions Football Club. Let me know if you think I've missed anyone that's really important to talk about. I'm sure you guys have a few little gems up your sleeve. So let me know what you think. If you agree with what I'm saying, let me know. If you're hating it, also comment away and tell me what you think. So I'll be back soon for a few more club previews. I'll talk to you then. Cheers.